Welcome you all. A beautiful thing we are doing every day at this time of studying our Sanatana Dharma, Shastras, Upanishads. That's great. This is the only way to keep ourselves in touch with the truth, in touch with the reality. Else, umpteen number of chances for us to forget the self. Friends, every day these sessions we are doing to invoke the grace of Parabrahma Tattva, Ishvara Tattva, Jagan Mata Tattva, Guru Gana Tattva, Guru Gana, Devata Gana, and our Shastra Gana. And objective is Loka Sevaka, Dharmasthavaka, Viragi, Bhakta, Shishya, Mumukshu, Jignasu, Shrota, Sadhaka, Parishrami, Prerita, Prashanta Gambhira, Samskrita Bhasha Jnata, Vyakarana Sahita, Guru Upasakaha, Daiva Upasakaha, Mananakarta, Nididhyasanakarta, Atmanubhavi, Atmanishtita. These are the Vyaktitvas we are focusing to understand, strengthen in us so that our outer life is also smooth and beautiful, our inner mind also peaceful and calm, quiet, and within we are able to do our deeper inner adhyatmic sadhanas. So, friends, every day we are spending our time in doing 5 things: Vedic chanting, common sense thought, Mangalacharana shloka, Sankalpa, Upanishad mantra ucharana, and Upanishad mantra adhyanam with Bhashya. Vedic chanting, we have done the 9th mandala, 10th mandala of the Rig Veda. We have to start. Very soon we will start. Before that, today we will enjoy, being Monday, chanting Lord Shiva's 1, 2, 3, 4 mantras, which are they? Namaste astu Bhagavan Vishweshwaraya, then Namastaraya, then Triambakam Yajamahe, then Ida Devahur Manur, then Tatpurushaya. Only these 5. Then we'll do Mahalakshmi Ashtakam. Then we'll see our next topics of common sense thought, etc. Let us start. Om Namaste Astu Bhagavan Vishweshwaraya Mahadevaya Trayambakaya Tripurantakaya Trikagnikalaya Kalagnirudraya Neelakantaya Mrityunjayaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Sriman Mahadevaya Namaha. Om Namastaraya Namah Shambhave cha Mayo Bhave cha Namah Shankaraya cha Mayaskaraya cha Namah Shivaya cha Shwethashwathara cha. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritaat. Om Ida Devahur Manuryajnanir Bruhaspati Rukta Madanishagam Sishadvishve Devaha Suktavacha Prithvi Matar Mamahigam Sir Madhumanishye Madhujanishye Madhuvakshyami Madhuvadishyami Madhumatem Devebhyo Vachamudyasagam Shushrushenyam Manushye Vyastam Ma Deva Avantu Shobhayai Pidarono Madanto. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Nidhanapataye Namaha, Nidhanapatantikaya Namaha, Urdhvaya Namaha, Urdhvalingaya Namaha, Hiranyaya Namaha, Hiranyalingaya Namaha, Suvarnaya Namaha, Suvarnalingaya Namaha, Divyaya Namaha, Divyalingaya Namaha, Bhavaya Namaha, भवलिंगाय नमः शर्वाय नमः शर्वलिंगाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवलिंगाय नमः ज्वलाय नमः ज्वललिंगाय नमः आत्माय नमः आत्मलिंगाय नमः परमाय नमः परमलिंगाय नमः ओमेतत् सोमस्य सूर्यस्य सर्वलिंगगस्थापयति पाणिमन्त्रं पवित्रं सद्यो जातं प्रपद्यामि सद्यो जाताय वै नमो नमः भवे भवेनाति भवे भवस्व मां भवोद्भवाय नमः वामदेवाय नमो ज्येष्ठाय नमः श्रेष्ठाय नमः कालाय नमः कलविकरणाय नमो बलविकरणाय नमो बलाय नमो बलप्रमथनाय नमः सर्वभूतदमनाय नमो मनोन्मनाय नमः अघोरेभ्यो घोरघोरतरेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः सर्वसर्वेभ्यो नमस्ते अस्तु रुद्ररूपेभ्यः ॐ तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्रः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Friends, let us revel in remembering Mother Mahalakshmi by chanting Mahalakshmi Ashtakam given to us by Indra. Indra Bhagavan has done the Stuti of Mother in that Kolhapura. So divine Shakti Pita it is there. So let us pray to the Mother to bless us. Om Om Shri Indra Kruta Shri Mahalakshmi Ashtakam ओम ओम नमस्तेस्तु महामाये श्रीपीठे सुरपूजिते शंखचक्रगदाहस्ते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गरुडारूढे कोलासुरभयङ्करि सर्वपापहरे देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते सर्वज्ञे सर्ववरदे सर्वदुष्टभयङ्करि सर्वदुःखहरे देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते सिद्धिबुद्धिप्रदे देवी भुक्तिमुक्तिप्रदायिनी मंत्रमूर्ते सदा देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते आद्यन्तरहिते देवी आदिशक्ति महेश्वरी योगजे योगसम्भूते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते स्थूल सूक्ष्मे महारौद्रे महाशक्ति महोदरे महापापहरे देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते पद्मासनस्थिते देवी परब्रह्मस्वरूपिणि परमेशि जगन्मातः महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते श्वेतांबरधरे देवी नानालंकारभूषिते जगत्स्थिते जगन्मातः महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्म्यष्टकस्तोत्रं यः पठेत् भक्तिमान् नरः सर्वसिद्धिमवाप्नोति राज्यं प्राप्नोति सर्वदा एककाले पठेन् नित्यं महापापविनाशनं द्विकालं यः पठेन् नित्यं धनधान्यसमन्वितं त्रिकालं यः पठेन् नित्यं महाशत्रुविनाशनं महालक्ष्मीर्भवेन्नित्यं प्रसन्ना वरदा शुभा महालक्ष्मीर्भवेन्नित्यं प्रसन्ना वरदा शुभा. What a beautiful writing. Go into the meaning of it. So great, so divine. Friends, having seen our chantings in our today's common sense thought, maybe one or two things we'll see. First one is, we all talk about the grace, grace, grace. Is the grace existing or not? Question. The answer is, other than grace, there is nothing which is existing. And yet, be attentive, the grace has to be invoked. Grace alone is there, and yet the grace has to be invoked. Isn't it? Everywhere it is like that. Like in the seed, the required fruits are there. Vegetables are there, but they have to be invoked, isn't it? By sowing it in that land and then allowing it to sprout and become a plant, etc. Everywhere you see in the examples, in the earth itself, what you want, the amount of all the food that's required is there under your feet only, but you have furnished it or floored it with the tiles and cement. Now remove all of them and again sow the seeds, all the thing that is there only. In the same way, God's grace, Guru's grace is always there. It has to be invoked. This is what we have to understand, we have to accept, and we must know what is the meaning of invoking this grace. Then how to invoke it? The grace is always showered in the form of the guidance for do's and don'ts. Grace is hidden in the seed of the guidance for the do's and don'ts. And that guidance for the do's and don'ts, which is the grace of the God coming to us in the form of Shastras, and again the grace of the Guru who reveals to us the meaning of that Shastra, we have to invoke. How do we invoke? We invoke by only one technique, that all that guidances that are given about the do's and don'ts, we have to take them to our heart. Now see, need not feel anything shy about it or any, what do you call, feeling of low or inferiority. But let us observe the fact in our so far of the life, how many times we got the grace of the Guru and God in the form of the guidance as what to do, what not to do. And how many times we have taken it deep into our hearts. And mind you, the beauty of it, wherever, whenever those guidances were taken into our heart by our own selves, and we have analyzed it, and we have understood the glory of it and the beauty of it, and we had our courage of conviction to follow what we are convinced about, ever, all the time, we were successful only in those endeavors. Wherever we have, in fact, taken that thing into our heart and felt serious about it, sincere about it, and did our best, always we were successful. If that way, whenever we did it, we were successful, the point is so simple that anytime, every time, in every of the aspect, the fully available grace can be invoked by us and can be utilized by us and can be blessed by that. So therefore, as a human beings, as we are bestowed with intellect, let this intellect always be in that mood and effort of invoking the Guru and Ishvara Anugraha. Right? Always it is in the form of do's and don'ts, and our intellect has to monitor that, has to observe that, has to understand it, has to digest that, and see to it both that to achieve this, this is not to be done, and to achieve this, this has to be done. Those things in that we have to be so pakka that none of any of otherwise emotions, etc., are overpowering us and not allowing us to follow what we are convinced about. In that way, when we make a habit, every moment the grace is invoked. Like, we follow the rules of electricity, then the God's grace invoked in the form of the electrical energy. We invoke the grace of the Lord in the form of the, what do you call it as, gravitational pull. So the entire aviation is working because we are invoking the grace by properly thinking and following the do's and don'ts there. In this way, wherever we see in this world, wherever human being has become successful, it is not only by the grace of the Lord, but also by the invocation of the God. That's what is our invocation of the grace of God. That's what is our Purushartha. That is what we are supposed to do. So today's point one is, grace alone is there all the time. learn the art of invoking that grace by utilizing the intellect, wherein to achieve any of the things, outer worldly or spiritual, the Lord has showered the grace in the form of telling us what to do, what not to do. Isn't it? In the example of Gita also, you see, Bhagavan Krishna by himself has not done anything. But he told Arjuna what not to do, what to do. Isn't it? Arjuna has beautifully understood. And toward the end, what did he say? When Krishna said, Yatechasi tatha karo, Arjuna's answer was, Karishye vachanantava. भगवान आपने इतना बढ़िया सा मार्गदर्शन गाइडेंस दिया है, आई विल डू दैट ओनली, देयर कैन नॉट बी एनीथिंग बेटर देन दैट. And accordingly he acted. Then one thing we know for certain, that Arjuna succeeded in outer war. But we also must know Arjuna succeeded in the inner war of his own spiritual evolution also, as per our Puranas, as per our Itihasas. Okay? The Gita Jnanam he fully utilized for his own moksha. Right, friends? This is one. Today's thought out of two, first thing is that one. The second one is what? In this effort of our invoking the grace of the Lord, where we utilize our intellect and try to know the do's and don'ts. The second point is, as we are clearly, undoubtedly, convincingly spiritual seekers, the do's and don'ts, few of them today we'll see, we can understand them, we can try to see. Enough. First question is, do we have something in the outer world to gain and achieve? Big question, huh? I am not answering it. If we are spiritual seeker, do we have something in the outer world to achieve? If we have thoroughly understood the Vedanta, understood the Upanishads, this is a very first and basic question. If you say we have, then we can never be spiritual. Because in Vedanta, we already studied that world which is continuously, constantly in the state of change or the flux. How can it be our goal? Whether it is the situation, whether it's an object, whether it's a person, etc. So none can be our goal. None of the outer things can be our goal. Therefore, do's and don'ts may let us not have the outer thing as the goal. Let us do not have the outer thing as the goal. Right? Then what is our goal then? Let us do have that the inner self alone is the goal. Let it become very strongly, deeply rooted. Every day in our efforts, my outer things are not my goal, inner self is my goal. This thought has to be deepened every day. As every of the professional in their own respective professional knowledge, they have to become deepened and rooted. You and I have to be professional as spiritual sadhaka. One of the thing is deepening this thought. I should not and do not have outer world as goal. I should and must and do have the inner self as the goal. It should ring in our minds, linger in our minds so continuously that it should make us restless in doing the due sadhanas to achieve that. This is the first point. Then the second point is what? If this is the case, and we are a human being, dynamic, living, active, and we are not all alone in a jungle, we are in the society with the people around, and with so many situations continuously. Now, the do's and don'ts are like this, 2-3 of them. First and foremost is, finish off, negotiate with outer things, be attentive as quickly as possible, and then try from becoming extroverted to introverted. संस्कृत में क्या है ना, जल्द से जल्दी बाहर का काम निपट कर from बहिर्मुखता become अंतर्मुख. Try, keep on doing it. It won't be achieved overnight or in one go. It is an effort of many years, and every sadhana depends on at what stage of evolution we are. in our convictions, in our commitments, in our applications, in our consistencies, in our regularities, in our shraddhas. These things ever play their role in our sadhana. इस बात को कभी भी नज़रअंदाज नहीं करना. So from the Bahirmukha to the Antarmukha we have to become. Continuously try to do that. Then also second one, from the Anekagrata, we have to always try to come to the Ekagra Sthiti of our inner Antakarana. In the do's may, the second thing is this one. From the Bahirmukhata to the Antarmukhata. Second one is from the Anekagrata into the Ekagrata. As much as possible, we have to quickly shift to. Try to be. And Anekagra, why it happens? Why multi-pointedness? Only because our attention is on so many of the things in the world outside. Our value is there for so many things. Why is it so? Because the first thing is not clear. That my goal is not the outer world, my goal is the inner self. If this is not clear, then my awareness will be for the many things in the world. I can never achieve the required amount of ekagrata. Therefore, the second depends always on the first one. After achieving the second one of ekagrata from the anekagrata, now the third thing we always consciously have to do is very essential. Try to catch it. That from the anatma tadhatmya to the atma tadhatmya, or the anatma, the not self, observation to the self observation. Take the help of the Upanishadic mantras, then say, instead of brooding over, bothering about the not self, always be in the mood of contemplating on the self with the help of the Shastra Upanishad mantras. So if these three things we can master them, Bahirmukha to the Antarmukha, Anekagrata to the Ekagrata, then the Anatma to the Atma. Understand these thoughts mainly. Then when we start practicing them, what exactly they mean, those things start revealed to us. What exactly to be done in each of these cases. We already said, from Bahirmukha to the Antarmukha is wrap up quickly the work outside and then close your faculties and focus on the inner mind. Then what is to be done with the inner mind? Do all the required japa, etc. and try to bring the mind into dharana sthiti or ekagra sthiti. From the anekagra to the ekagra. Then you ask question, with ekagrata achieved, what is to be done? Let that ekagra mind be focused on the self, continuously conscious. This one, per minute, how many seconds we can do? Per an hour, how many minutes we can do? In a day, how many hours we can do? In a month, how many days we can do? In a year, how many months we can do? In our lifetime, how many years we can do? Depending on that will be our certain sure spiritual opening, spiritual subtlety, spiritual revelations, wherein what is said in all Upanishads regarding the Paramatma Tattva, every of the words that are employed there, where the Paramatma is explained about, they start happening to us as our experiences. That's our goal. What is the meaning of Akhandaha? What is the meaning of Achintyaha? What is the meaning of Avyayaha? What is the meaning of Anantaha? What is the meaning of Nityaha? What is the meaning of Sat? What is the meaning of the Chit? What is the meaning of Avikari? What is the meaning of Advaita? What is the meaning of Ekameva? Each of these words start happening to us as an experience when this way we take up these three steps of do's and don'ts, which is the grace of the God and the Guru and the Shastra, which we have to invoke. And the first invocation of the grace is by becoming intellectual. And then the second invocation of the grace is by this way turning our attention from the outside to the inside, from the manyness to the oneness, and from the not self to the self. When we make a habit of it, then we are on the rightest path. When we are on the right path, if not to the right destination, where else we reach? Surely and certainly. So these are the few things, friends, we wanted to feel about today. That should be enough. So let us do our Mangalacharana Shloka. Sankalpa Upanishad Mantra Adhyay. Om 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 Sahanavavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ओम यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्य प्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्व वेदान्ताः सच्शास्त्राः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। ओम शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ओम निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ओम जगतीमवितुं कलिताकृतयो विचरन्ति महामहसच्चलतः अहिमांशुरिवात्र विभासि गुरो भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम्। ओम ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्म विद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्वेताश्वतरोपनिषदः आचार्येभ्यो नमः। संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्य बोधेन अस्मिन् क्षणे एव मोक्षकैवल्यप्राप्त्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य विश्वव्याप्ति विश्व आध्यात्मिक प्रगति एकता शांति पुरोभिवृद्धि अस्मिन् सनातनधर्म संस्थापने कंकणबद्ध अस्माकं सह सर्वेषां निरंतर दिग्विजयः। श्रीराम मंदिरवत् शिवकृष्णादि समस्त मंदिरादीनां पुनरवाप्ति तेषु निरंतर शास्त्र अध्ययनादीनां द्वारा भारतवर्षस्य सनातनधर्मस्य बाह्याभ्यन्तर शत्रुविघ्न निर्मूलन पूर्वक वैदिक हैंदव संस्कृतेः धर्ममोक्ष पुरुषार्थानां शाश्वत रूपेण सुसंप्रतिष्ठा। अस्यां कक्षायाम् आगतानां संकल्पित सत्कर्मसु दिग्विजयः तेषां हृदये परब्रह्मादीनां प्रति भक्त्यादीनां द्वारा जन्म साफल्यार्थम् अनेक शास्त्राणाम् अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये श्री कृष्ण यजुर्वेदीय श्वेताश्वतरोपनिषदः श्री आद्य शंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मोक्षार्थं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। ओम नित्यानंदं निराधारं निखिलाधारम् अव्ययं निगमाद्यगतं नित्यं नीलकंठं नमाम्यहम्। ओम अथ चतुर्थोऽध्यायः। So let us just chant the mantras in this fourth chapter only, numbering 15, 16, 17, 18. The 15th is Om Saeva Kale Bhuvanasya Gopta विश्वादिपः सर्वभूतेषु गूढः यस्मिन् युक्ता ब्रह्मर्षयो देवताश्च तमेवं ज्ञात्वा मृत्युपाशान्श्चिनत्ति घृतात् परं मण्डमिवाति सूक्ष्मं ज्ञात्वा शिवं सर्वभूतेषु गूढं विश्वस्यैकं परिवेष्टितारं ज्ञात्वा देवम् उच्यते सर्वपाशैः। एष देवो विश्वकर्मा महात्मा सदा जनानां हृदये सन्निविष्टः हृदा मनीषा मनसाभिक्लुप्तः य एतद्विदुः अमृतास्ते भवन्ति। Yesterday's mantra, 18th, chanted Om यदा तमस्तन्न दिवानरात्रिः न सन्न चासन् शिव एव केवलः तदक्षरं तत् सवितुर्वरेण्यं prajna cha tasmat prasruta purani. This mantra is very indicative, very sublime. Thanks to Bhagwan Sri Adi Shankara for giving us exhaustive, very important, detailed, necessary Bhashya almost to every Shabda. Respect that Bhashyam and understand as per the Bhashyam the meaning of these mantras. Very, very important. These words of this mantra. Okay. Let us go through it patiently, beautifully. Not very difficult, half of it we have already seen. These Upanishadic mantras, the Bhashyas, unless they are repeated, the main thing also we fail to grasp. And repetition is necessary for us to, to retain what knowledge we have gained. So throughout life, never hesitate to repeatingly doing the spiritual Shastra Adhyayana. It's not a novel, it's not a story that एक बार पढ़ ली और कथा समझ में आ गया छोड़ दी. It's not like that. It is a sublime knowledge. It has to deeply enter into our inner recesses. Very contemplatively, with full of Shraddha, with total concentration, we have to mind these words and their meanings. In that only our Shraddha, our respect and reverence toward the Shruti Mata and our goal or our conviction towards our spiritual goal are proved also. So, okay, Yada. Yada means what? Yasyam avastayam. Yada means jab. Yasyam avastayam. Sometimes we being Indians थोड़ा हिंदी में बोलने से ज़्यादा पकड़ में आता है. यदा मीन्स यस्याम अवस्थाया मतलब जिस समय, जिस अवस्था में हम कुछ मेहनत करके कुछ पाते हैं. क्या पाते हैं? अतमहा. When we reach to the state of atamaha. And how that atama sthiti is reached? Atama means non-ignorance. Obviously the state of knowledge. And in Vedantic parlance, the ignorance is compared with the darkness and the knowledge is compared with the light. So tamaha means tamasoma jyotirgamaya, means from the darkness to the light, O Lord, you take me. So from the darkness to the light, why the Lord should take you? Just put on the light, you are already in light, no? Not that way here. Here the darkness is compared with ajnanam, ignorance. See that ignorance, the English word also from ajnanam, almost said. Then jyotirgamaya is the light. Light means knowledge. The jnanam. So from the ajnanam to the jnanam is the meaning when it is said from the darkness to the light. So therefore yada yasyam avasthayam, when we reach to a state in our own efforts, with our own efforts, which state it is? Atamaha. Atama means no darkness trace also. How will there be the absence of the total darkness? Only when there is a light. So therefore darkness, if you say the ignorance, total absence of the ignorance. And the light, if you say the knowledge, when that knowledge of the deeper, the jnana jyoti is lit. Let us say lit. That's what Bhashyakara said here. Consciously listen it. Yada yasyam avasthayam atamaha. Atamaha means na tamaha asya iti atamaha. There is no trace even of little tamaha, darkness also. It is called the state of atamaha. How it is achieved? You may ask question. You must catch this point. What is it? Tattvamadi vakya janya jnanena. Only by Tattvamasi Adi Vakya, when we are taught by the Guru and when we contemplate on those Tattvamasi Mahavakya explanations given by the Guru, then the Janya, the Janita, that birth takes place. Of what? Jnanena. The knowledge will be born there. So when we contemplate on the Tattvamasi Mahavakya, the Jnana will be born. And that Jnana is called Deepa here. So Jnanena Deepa Sthaniyena. With the Jnana, which is now here is a Deepa, Dagda Avidya Tat Karya Rupa Tamaskatvat. So Avidya, the ignorance, Tat Karya, the identification with the Upadhis and living the life at the level of the Upadhis, all this Avidya and Tat Karya is called as the tamaha, and that is being dagdha, as if burnt away by this jnana deepa, which is lit, which is born in us when we have done the contemplation as guided by the Guru on the Mahavakyas, like Tattvam Asi. Okay? So you are considering yourself to be the Jiva with the Upadis. You are not that Jiva with the Upadi, you are Nirupadika Atman. That is called the Tvam meaning in the Tattvamasi Mahavakya. So too, in the Tattvamasi Mahavakya, the meaning of the word Tatpada is the whole world is nothing but the projection of Paramatma. Paramatma really freed from even his Maya Shakti. So the Nirupadika Atma is the meaning of the Tvampada, and Nirupadika Brahman is the meaning of the Tatpada. Now that Brahman at the total level, this Atman at the individual level are one without second. That is the meaning of the word Asi. So this we have to keep on churning in us. In that churning only, the fire is burnt in which all our notions, all our imaginations, all our strong wrong convictions get burned. And while teaching to us the Mahavakya Upadesha, Guru also teaches us very many techniques. As we have seen it in our day before yesterday, the last but one class or last but one mantra in our Brahmajnana Valimala. You remember the shloka? Aham sakshiti yo vidyat vivichaivam punah punah sa eva muktah savidvan iti vedanta dindimaha. The Guru teaches us to realize that your real meaning of the Tvam to whatever the life you are caught up in, outer as well as inner, you start developing Drashta Bhava, you start developing the Sakshi Bhava. When you practice this for a long time, what in Siddhanta you have understood, that you are the self beyond the Upadis, that you start experiencing. So this all knowledge Guru teaches us in the Tattvamasi Mahavakya Upadesh. When we hold on to all that knowledge, really do the thing I have said, these notions, the strongly made notions that I am the Drashta through the eyes, I am the Shrota through the ears, I am the Manta through the mind, all these notions get burnt. Then really the experience that I am Sakshi for all these happenings will come. Then that Sakshi himself is Chitsvarupa, and that is you. That is the Mahavakya Tvampada's meaning. The Tvampada's meaning of the Mahavakya. That is what is said here. If Deepasthaniyena Jnanena Tattvamasya Adi Mahavakya Janya Jnanena Deepasthaniyena Dagdha Avidya Tatkarya Tamaskaha. That's the meaning of Yada Atamaha. If we really put our efforts and reach to that state, how it is tested, whether we reach that or not, these are the words. Tat na diva na ratri, na san na chasan. Neither there is day concept, nor the night concept, nor the presence of the word of objects concept, nor the absence of anyone else. Do you mean to say that it is completely absence, absolutely shunyata? No. Then what is it? Shiva eva kevalaha. Krishna. Shiva eva kevala. It is a state of pure Shiva Tattva. From there we have to do the Bhashya actually. Up to this we have studied thoroughly in our earlier efforts. We have to do the Bhashya from here. What is the meaning of Shiva Saruvata? Then Tad Aksharam, then Tad Savitur Varenyam, then Prajna cha Tasmat Prashuddha Purana. These are the words we have to study, and we will spend a due time for that. Then we will see how and when we can do it. Right, friends? Here we stop with our today's our effort. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu.